Welcome to Cambridge Inside Out
Yeah.
after a long and storied
We're
absence.
back. I mean, I'm longer back than you are. I mean, yes. August 3rd was, I think, my last show, and you did one with Patrick.
Yeah. So we
And
blew
then-
off 3 weeks,
Yeah.
right?
Well, lots of people did. It's August.
Well, yeah,
you know?
that's right. It's
Right.
like, we went
No
to,
city council meeting. There are lots of
we,
other meetings.
we were all
right?
vacationing in the south of France,
Yeah,
right?
right, sure. Yeah.
No,
right.
no, I
No,
was.
I was moving and doing things.
Yeah.
So,
No, and it's
September.
still hellacious activity in my house with electricians
Oh,
busting
yeah.
holes in walls and
Still?
whatever. I'm living like a refugee.
Well, better than firemen busting holes in walls. Right?
That's true.
I mean,
That's
electricians are-
absolutely
yeah.
true.
I mean, nothing against a fireman,
Right.
but hey,
No,
yeah.
but no better way to actually force a person to basically
Oh,
take
get rid of
stock
their
of like
stuff.
40 years of possessions.
Interesting.
into-
Either a fire
before-
will do it,
or the
the electrician knocking down
knocking
walls.
down
will
the
do it,
walls
right.
and have to empty out
Yeah.
rooms. Yeah.
That's
So
good. So we're at that phase of our lives. If
I'm
you
trying to
haven't
make
figured that
lemonade out of
yeah.
them lemons. That's right.
Downsize.
Absolutely.
But a lot has happened,
It-
and you're fed up, I know. But maybe
I'm a
not.
little worn out after
Yeah, Yeah.
following civic affairs since probably about 1985.
Right. And
Honestly, 34 years, I'm ready
Yeah.
to throw in the towel. But
would you say that this summer, though, in terms of the city and the ordinance, has been more active than the usual summer?
there have been very,
There's so many
there's
meetings.
oftentimes there's some
Yeah.
sort of like a hot button issue
Right.
that really gets
But now
things
we've got
triggered.
3 hot button issues.
Yeah, well,
kind
but a couple of years ago it was like the bike thing was sort
True.
of like all over the
Yeah.
place. But there've been
Yeah.
other times when it was all
Yeah.
really contentious.
But,
Remember
but you've got affordable housing over there, you've got the courthouse,
Right.
and then you've got the cannabis thing, which blows my mind.
Yeah,
You could have
yeah.
5 stores in Central Square.
5? I know
4?
3. I
3?
know 3.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Actually, there are 2 hearings
I know.
on one of the social equity and one of the
Well, there've
economic
been hearings.
empowerment applicants
It's
tonight
crazy.
at planning board.
How many do you need? I know we can
Uh,
have 9 in Cambridge, but do we
Right,
need
so let's
that?
put them all in Central Square, right? It would be the cannabis
next to
district.
the safe injection sites.
Well,
I mean, that's what's. I don't know.
I think Mayor Curatone of Somerville ought to take care of that, quite honestly.
No, I mean,
Well,
the government is pushing. I think.
well,
We'll see.
that's another matter.
It's a municipal election year, so we'll see.
Oh boy, yeah. No, the thing is,
So,
it's not
yeah.
like this is the first year when there was sort of controversy.
No, but there
Come
seems to be
summer
a
into
lot
the
that's
fall.
determined by zoning issues.
I think what's
and
happening is,
stuff.
well, I mean, was it
Yeah.
2, 3, actually more than that. It was
Right.
actually before the Envision Cambridge process started,
Yeah,
there
which is
was
4 years ago.
there was a car loan petition,
Oh,
basically,
right.
that wanted to basically put a lot of control for special permits and take it from the planning board, give it to
Oh.
the council. And I think several
Oh.
people
Oh,
correctly
no.
pointed out that
Please,
had
no.
that been done, then every single time a special
it's
permit
so
was
political.
issued would have been
I mean,
completely
look at all the problems
politicized.
around curb cuts.
Well, it
Can you
would have,
imagine this?
honestly, it would have just been done
Oh.
wonders for campaign accounts
no.
because everybody would be trying to contribute to candidates.
Yeah,
Uh,
take away
you
the
know,
curb cut
in favor of
authority
it.
too. I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
crazy. That's crazy.
So anyway, it's
All right,
so
so-
the big ones.
Yeah, the big
I
ones
also want to
are
mention a few small things, but the
Yes.
the big things
Yes.
arguably is the
Affordable housing
the
overlay.
affordable housing overlay,
AHO,
right? The
not AOC, AHO.
right, or the abominable hubris
Well,
overlay. yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not quite there, but yeah,
Then
yeah.
there was the leasehold arrangement for the First Street Garage, which is sort of, at least some might view this as sort of an essential, linchpin to
Yes.
permit the courthouse redevelopment by Leg
Was
and
that the
McCall to
longest
proceed.
public comment that you know of? Because
You know, it might be, but,
5 hours,
you know,
5.5 hours.
The thing is it's kind of hard to say. Certainly in the
Yeah.
days of televised hearings
True.
and whatever,
Yeah.
maybe it is.
Yeah.
But if you go back to 1994 when Question
rent
9 was on the
control?
ballot and everybody was chiming in then, and back then you
Oh.
could chime in at any time in the meeting, so it wasn't like
Wait,
it was all up front.
Are
Yeah.
you kidding?
It's when the issue came up, that's when you
I didn't
made
know
comment.
that. How
Oh,
did they
yeah.
even run a meeting then?
Well, I actually liked it that way because,
Yeah, but
but the
no.
thing is, it wasn't fair to people who had lives to lead. They, they didn't want to necessarily wait till midnight for their issue to come up.
I see, so you had to only
Yeah.
respond to the issue.
Yeah, so by about 1999-ish, they came up with some
Interesting.
modifications to the
Yeah.
council rules that they basically said, let's just front load all of the public comments. So,
Which makes sense, but also,
Well,
boy, calls for a very
what
long evening.
what it means is,
Yeah.
under the pretense of at least, if
Yeah.
you're at least pretending to listen to the public, what it means is that, if everybody's going to be given, let's say, 3 minutes, but the thing
Yeah.
is, that's highly negotiable, if
It was 2 minutes for this.
For two, yeah, yeah.
Because there's so many people.
I mean, I think a few years ago the rule was going to be like, well, let's just take 2 hours and divide it by as many as their people, and so somebody
Yeah,
might have 20 seconds if you did the
No,
math,
you
right?
can't- you can't do it
So,
that way. Yeah.
so anyway, so people running for election want to sort of be perceived as allowing
Yeah.
the public to speak. So
But
the
they do,
public's
they're allowed to have
spoke.
communications, and the counselors, if they do their job, are reading these communications, but the same people then
Some
show
are,
up
some
to
aren't.
talk.
Yeah.
Well, they should be
Yeah.
getting paid to do that.
You know,
Someone's getting paid to do
It's
that.
true, but I mean, I'm a little more interested when during public comment there are people who I never saw before. I find that more interesting. 'Cause
Oh, three
honestly,
people said they had never come to a meeting before,
Yeah.
but they were and very diverse. I think they were proponents, or, I mean, they just said
in
that.
favor of the leasehold arrangement.
It may have
yeah.
been split, but yeah.
Right, but the thing is that
Yeah.
there are certain individuals when they step up to the microphone, I might as well just go
Oh.
get myself a coffee because honestly,
Well,
I know
they're
exactly what
too
they're going
much-
to say.
Yeah, and I think they wear out their welcome in a way because.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the daughter of a former city councilor once said to me, it says, "Oh, you've become one of the usual suspects, have you?"
Oh,
Yeah, and at that point, I stopped speaking at council meetings for
That's-
about 4 years.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Yeah.
You get a reputation.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like,
it's sort of like Monday Night Live. It's for some people,
Yeah.
it's their opportunity to sort
To
of.
say, look at me,
You know, yeah.
and
Hey,
it's
listen,
a shame
hey,
because some
hey,
of
this
them.
is Tuesday
but-
Night Live, right? How
Right.
about that?
But
right?
some of them have something to say, but if they come every week, you start to tune out. And it's
I think it's
unfortunate.
well. Actually, the thing is, if somebody every time they go up and they say something,
Yeah.
they're thoughtful, considerate,
And
to the
brief,
point,
yeah.
and brief. They actually will develop a respect
That's a good
amongst
point.
counselors,
Yeah.
and in which case they can keep coming back, and everybody will
Yeah.
actually listen to them. But
Okay.
the moment you start basically going up and just accusing everybody of everything under the sun,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm not going to name names, but there are
Yeah.
some who that's all they ever do.
Yeah.
Then everybody tunes them out
Yeah.
at that point.
I would
you know?
say there's more people on the other side, it seems. I mean, I just get tired of seeing the same.
Yeah.
But they always
yeah.
have something smart to say.
Yeah. So anyway, so
that-
it's
that-
overlay.
Right.
And we got to talk about some of the particulars here,
Yeah,
sure.
and the leasing
The
of
leasehold arrangement for a street garage, the cannabis regulation, they haven't moved it yet, but
It's an ordinance
but
issue,
what happened
right?
in the interim while we were in the south of vacationing in
Yeah,
the south
right.
of France,
People are
haha,
gonna think that.
it's really right.
They're gonna-
But anyway, during that there was actually, and I guess it must have been an ordinance committee hearing, which actually ended in chaos, actual like shouting. Oh
Wait,
yeah,
when was
they
this? 'Cause
recessed
I thought I
it.
watched all of them.
And there were people that tempers were flaring.
Oh my goodness.
The thing is the way I'm kind of looking at this,
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, and I'm not trying to poo-poo the
Yeah.
whole idea of economic empowerment or social
Yeah.
equity, whatever here, but the truth is, what you're basically doing is you're putting a big pile of cash on the table and saying, hey, everybody, come and grab some money.
Yeah.
And so people who maybe have never actually become like, wealthy, whatever, they're going, oh boy, I got to get a piece of that action.
Yeah.
And if you just sort of say, everybody come and grab, they're going to be in competition. There are going to be some hard feelings.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening. Now, I have to say, I do blame the city council for not managing it so well.
Yeah.
Because to allow it to get to that point.
It-
But, I don't know what you
Yeah.
would have done otherwise either.
I
So
don't
I'm not, I can't be
Craig
too.
Kelly had, I don't know where it was either, it was something about some of his concerns about the whole cannabis thing. One of them that struck me was, oh God, what was it? Oh, he thinks the whole moratorium thing, not letting the non-economic, could be illegal and probably be challenged in court. And I think he might be right.
I think it's a matter of degree. So, okay,
Yeah.
and again, there've been some modifications. I didn't even
Yeah.
bother to read them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wasn't going to go pouring through 1,400 pages
I
of
know.
nonsense on that agenda this time. I mean, the fact that I even got sort of a
Wait,
compact
is
version
that
online
in
is
the
a
agenda?
miracle.
Is that in the agenda about the
Yeah, it was a
cannabis?
communication, I think, from
Oh, okay.
Councilor Simmons or whatever.
Okay.
Little modifications.
Oh, the amendment type
to do
stuff.
this,
I
yeah.
think that's what I read.
Yeah.
It was, right, it was,
Yeah,
that was.
so
what
they're
it was.
modifying some of these things
Okay.
as they go here, right?
Right.
But one of the I mean, one of the fundamental difficulties here is that for those who didn't know it, you're fools. But the thing is that the medical marijuana was always just sort of the Trojan horse for recreational marijuana, right from the very beginning.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I'm not trying to say there's no such thing as medical marijuana, but
No,
the
a
thing
lot of
is,
people benefit from
that
that.
why was so many people sort of so hot to get in on the ground floor? It was because they knew
Yeah.
darn well that
Right.
eventually there was going to be
It was
a
good for their
referendum,
business.
and
They
it was,
already had this business, and
Yeah.
they could add that.
and in a
Right.
place like Massachusetts, there was a pretty good chance that
Right.
the referendum would pass, and then
That's
they would
right.
have recreational marijuana,
Right.
and they want to get it on the ground floor.
Can't
Now,
blame them for that.
Right, but the thing is that's difficult about it is that the the medical marijuana people had to be sort of vertically integrated companies. They had to make it, grow it, test it, do
They're
this,
very
all of these
established,
things, right?
and have a lot of money
And
behind
then
them.
you need
right?
a lot of money
Yeah.
up front to make all
Right.
that happen, right?
Right.
So that would normally exclude
Anybody
somebody
trying
who
to
was
start
just
out.
some
right.
folks from the neighborhood who wanted to sort of start a pot shop, right? So so I can understand why, in fact, you want to kind of
level the playing field.
or
kind of,
actually
or just get more-
unlevel the playing field.
Well,
Really,
right.
the level playing field would have been too harsh for the little
True.
players.
All right.
So they want to unlevel the playing field to sort of give others a shot in. So how much of an advantage is something that's legally defensible becomes the issue. So
Yeah.
so to me, when it was proposed, I forget. I've even given up on even trying to remember whose proposals these were. But
Yeah.
one proposal on the table was to have a 2-year moratorium
It
so
was
that the
Simmons and Zondervan, I think.
right. So it was
Yeah.
2-year moratorium so that the people who are doing the medical marijuana, who by the way are often the suppliers to the people for
Right.
the others.
And in fact, they're trying to make some deals with
Well,
those
maybe
people,
that's the
too.
way to get it
And
to
yeah.
work out is say, okay,
You
we'll
gotta work
supply it.
together.
Well, you, in the meantime,
Right.
you can operate the retail store,
Right.
but we have a right to maybe do deliveries or something, which
I
is
don't know,
currently
right.
illegal, I think,
Oh.
under Massachusetts.
The banks are, you can't even.
I know, I know.
Pay by
I know.
credit
The
card.
legislature, I heard, rumor was they were trying to
Oh.
work something out. I think there's probably some
But
compromise.
federally, it's against the law, so how do you get
I
around
know.
that?
I don't know. I don't know, honestly.
I don't know what's going on.
So they're going to have to work something out about this. But one thing that is really ridiculous to me is in a place like Central Square, where we have
Oh.
already revolutionary clinics. They have their whole storefront all set up, whatever.
So they're
that's
not going to be
medical.
allowed to.
But they're not going to be allowed
Oh, wait,
to sell
wait,
the recreational.
But they are going to have medical there?
Yeah,
Because don't they have one out in the quadrangle
yeah, they have
place?
multiples. I mean,
Yeah.
they're kind of a big operation
Yeah,
now, right?
okay.
But then, a few doors up, at the first floor of space of Central Kitchen, is where Homegrown LLC
Okay,
wants
and
to
then
be
across
doing
the street
recreational.
where the old Harvest, there's another
And then,
one.
oh no, actually, it's that Homegrown is across the street, and
That's
it's
580, I think.
and it's Marvin
Yeah.
Gilmore's
All right,
operation.
'cause there's
So
two
Western
different ones.
Front
Sean,
LLC.
Sean Hope.
Everybody, you've got to
Yeah.
get yourself a politically connected lawyer. That's like step one.
But do
right?
we need two places right across the street from each other plus a medical? That's the. Come on, what's going on
No,
here?
it's going to be wacky. But this actually really wasn't even an issue on the table at the meeting last night. So but it's
Oh
it's,
no.
but
no,
certainly next week or the week after.
Well,
they
it's
can't,
all anything on the agenda was
yeah,
pushed.
they can't
to,
they can't punt this forever. So it'll be
No,
coming
because
there.
it's
So
gonna. Isn't it like a time
yeah,
thing
so
on that?
overlay, leasehold,
Oh.
medical marijuana. Now, actually, there's a new zoning petition popped on the table
What?
yesterday.
Oh no. For
Well,
what?
no, actually, it's a good one, I think.
What's this?
There's one. It's called the Alewife Quadrangle Northeast
right, I
Overlay
did see
Petition.
that. Okay.
And again, I didn't read it, the super fine detail. I do actually have a copy here, but it's basically says that it's actually consistent with with one of the good things, one of the relatively few good things that grew out of the Envision Cambridge process, which is in the upfront part about Alewife. They basically said, look, there's already some sort of light industrial uses. They already taken place.
You're
in
talking
some
about the one
bakeries
between
and-
Concord Ave and that part.
yeah, north of
yeah.
Concord Ave, south
Right.
of the railroad tracks,
right,
going
right.
out to Santa
Yeah,
Maria.
yeah, where there's Iggy's and
into
some
the
other
rotary,
places
yeah.
now. Okay.
So people say, well, if you could actually create some job producing
Oh,
or
yeah.
job maintaining,
yeah.
light industrial,
industrial.
you could do breweries or
But I
whatever.
thought that was always the plan.
It was
Right.
no. The thing
No?
is if just allowed to proceed
Yeah. As it is.
based purely on economics, then
Yeah.
currently there would be
Just be
nothing but
housing.
big housing going in there.
Okay.
Or big office parks, whatever, which is what you see up on the north
But
side
isn't
of
it
the
zoned
tracks.
for industrial? No.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is that in industrial zones, they passed a change in the zoning some 15 years ago that basically is you can put housing in industrial zones, in all zones pretty much. So that's really what led to all the housing being built up in the Alewife area in the
That's
triangle.
where they tow your cars to, you know. That's the other tow place.
Yeah,
They-
pretty much
Yeah.
those tow lots are
I had to-
disappearing quick because it's
Well,
not
I
the
don't
highest
know.
and best use of the
I
land.
don't know, $100
Yeah,
a
yeah.
pop,
No,
I
I've
mean, my car
been
was
on the
doing it.
hook. Yeah. But so the thing is that if you just allowed economics today to proceed, then big players would be buying up land,
Mm-hmm.
putting in 6-story apartment buildings or
Hopefully
or
not.
some office park or whatever to
Mhm.
meet some of the unmet demand that that's
Make them
elsewhere.
build the bridge, have that part of this whole position. I don't know
Yeah,
what it is.
well, tough to make them build it, but if you
No,
cut
but
a
if you,
deal,
if you cut, right, if you say, look, if you give us money towards this
you
or
need
whatever, you gotta need
you
a
almost
plan.
need to have kind of
Yeah.
like a big player with deep pockets in order
You
to
do.
make magical things like that happen.
That's a good point.
It's if you just get some big player, they're not going to say, "I'm sorry, we can't put a bridge in
Well,
for
some
you."
people would say that the city is a big player.
Well, the
we
thing
have
is
the
that
money,
the
but
city
yeah.
never built things like that. Really,
No.
usually they were once upon a time, 50 years ago, there was federal money to build things like bridges and such, and so
Yeah.
that's how things like that
True.
got done.
Yeah, that's
But
a
all
good
that
point.
money's
The
gone.
big dig, gone.
Yeah,
Couldn't
it's
have
all
it
gone.
all.
So you have to kind of leverage things now. It's all about
Yeah.
leveraging things.
It's
you
true,
know?
you gotta make deals.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
to promote.
So
our
this
current
petition
president,
basically,
but-
I think, just wants to
So where did it?
lock that in.
But it's,
And it-
nothing was just, it just was submitted. It
Just
wasn't- yeah.
usually what happens with zoning petitions, there's nothing to say or do really.
Right.
You refer to the planning board and the ordinance
Right.
committee for
And then
hearing and
for
report,
Deliberation.
and then the process proceeds. I mean, personally, I think this one will probably do rather well.
Yeah,
And,
people
and
want
I
that
think
kind of
people
stuff
say
there,
this is
yeah.
consistent with what a lot of people sort of
Yeah.
thought was a good idea.
So
And
who submitted it? Who was the sponsor?
you know, I don't know who the author as such is.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of lists of names. It's named
Uh-huh.
after the first signer, and I've
Right.
already forgotten what the person is.
Okay.
I've saw some
Just wondering,
familiar
I
names.
mean, they have to be Cambridge residents, don't they? To submit
A
zoning
registered
petition?
voter. You need at
Registered
least
voter?
10 registered voters, and there's
Okay.
more than enough of that.
I'll have to
So,
look at that.
so anyway, that's a minor matter for now,
Right.
but it's it's
That's
proceeding.
good, because that's the last kind of frontier
Yeah.
almost.
Actually, before we get into some of the controversy,
Well, which is actually let it, you saw it,
well, a little bit got punted, right? Okay, so just
big
good.
punt,
Yeah, but
refile.
that's right.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, but there are actually a few other things that of some interest. One thing had happened because we had talked about it
What?
before it happened, and now
What?
it's happened was
What?
August 22nd. It
August
was the
22nd.
old time baseball game up at
I didn't
up at
go.
St. Peter's Field.
It's too hot.
Right, but you have to
tired
say,
to
and I
go.
don't think I mentioned this on the
Yeah.
program with Patrick
Yeah.
that the sort of featured Red Sox star was Roger Clemens.
Yes, I knew that.
And Roger Clemens actually pitched. Usually, you think, oh, he's going to pitch an inning, a token thing, and then he's going to
Yeah.
hop in a cab and see you later, right?
No.
No, he pitched like something like 3 innings,
Well, yeah.
and he came to bat twice, and he drove in 2
Wow.
runs,
No way.
and he was enjoying
Oh,
himself,
nice.
and it was really
Oh,
impressive.
good.
So there he was. He's Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
He's like the
Yeah.
man, right?
Yeah.
And the players are gathering around him, and he's just
Yeah.
taking it. He's giving
Yeah.
advice to young
Nice,
players and
nice.
whatever. He was everything you want a major league baseball
Yeah.
player to be.
Well, Pedro was
It was
like
great.
that last
Pedro
year, right?
also an absolute
Yeah. But
jewel
Pedro's
of a
also
human being.
connected to the Red Sox
Yeah.
now too.
But I have to say though,
Yeah.
so what happened after
Yeah.
you figure, okay, maybe after 4 innings or whatever, he's
Yeah.
going to split, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can kind of see people gathering around the dugout where
Yeah.
that was going to happen, and so then when he's leaving now, and then everybody's there, they want to get autographs,
Yeah.
whatever. So somebody who's with him basically says, okay, everybody just line up.
Wow.
He's going to stay. He's going to sign everybody's everything, and he's going to talk to everybody, and he did. So I have to say, I walked away
Yeah.
saying, Roger is the
Yeah.
man. He was good.
He may not get asked a lot, especially back in Massachusetts.
He may
'cause,
not
you
be,
know,
but I tell you,
That's good.
he was really, really great.
That's
Another
nice.
great baseball-related thing, of course.
Oh.
David Ortiz got
Oh, I
announced
heard
in.
he was in last
and,
night.
and spoke at the Red Sox
really
game.
Is tanking,
The
but, yeah.
team is tanking, but to tell you, it was a great moment to see David
I'm all
Ortiz
for the
back.
Cubs this year.
So that was
yeah.
pretty cool.
Good.
So one other little announcement is, so this Saturday, the 14th, I think
Is
the
it the 14th?
time it's, is from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Go up to Danahy Park. It's the
Oh,
Danahy
it's
Park
the,
Family Day.
Oh yeah,
Which is usually a lot of fun. Usually,
Mhm.
I mean, if you get there early enough, the city manager, some other you know, the
They
school
give out hot
superintendent,
dogs.
they'll be
Yeah.
out the grill
Yeah,
handing
they'll
out
give you a
coffee.
hot
So,
dog and chips.
get,
Yeah.
you know, get some hot dogs and whatever, and
Yeah.
it's fun. It's a municipal election year, so I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of
Yeah.
political
And there'll
candidates in
there's a
full
lot of
regalia.
tables with information. I know I've tabled for the recycling. But they have,
Yeah. So you know, hopefully the weather will be good, and you know, it's a good time. The kids love it. So if you
I
got
don't
children,
think the weather will be good actually. I think
really
it'll
for
be-
Saturday, I think it's a rain. It may be a rain
May-
date, but
it
I'm
may
not
be,
sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, so look for that. So,
Okay.
so anyway, back
Those
to
are-
the hysteria. So
So
in a way, it was a little deflating.
the AHO. They said not to do a vote on it.
All right, so
All right, tell me
well,
what
let's first say what happened, what didn't happen
'Cause I
with
fell
the
asleep at that
First
point.
Street Garage.
Oh
So
yeah.
the First Street Garage, so there was a 6:30 hearing on it, and it was supposed to play out so that you had the hearing, and then they voted on the leasehold arrangement.
Right, but they
I
wanted
don't-
public comment specifically about the hearing
Yeah.
before they voted on
And
it.
I don't know if anybody absolutely knew for sure whether it was going to get the necessary 6 votes.
I thought it was just 5. I keep.
No,
It's a zoning change.
no, it's not a zoning change, but it's a disposition of city property,
Oh,
and that
requires
also
6 votes?
requires supermajority vote.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, I don't think they were going to.
and the thing is that I think if before it became thoroughly politicized, I think there probably would have been a means, because the amount of benefits that would accrue should they make the arrangement in terms of reactivation of First Street, and a lot of money going into these various funds, affordable housing trusts, et cetera, et cetera. It was a pretty sweet deal, and honestly, if they don't vote for it, they're going to lose all that, and then they probably will be able to make a project happen anyway, but the city's going to lose all the benefits.
Well,
so.
why would they lose the benefits? Because it was all
Because-
contingent on the parking spaces.
Yeah, that was the deal. The
Oh.
thing is they got
That's
the
true.
special
They have no
permit.
other leverage. You're
That's
right.
it. That was it, right? So
didn't think of that, yeah.
so basically they
Can't
said,
they just reduce the amount of spaces though?
I don't know what the rules are in zoning.
Say,
must it be
give
420?
up 300 spaces.
If there
And
was
then
some
they'll
way
make
to
do.
negotiate it,
Yeah.
my personal feeling, but again,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's legal. It would be
Yeah.
the ideal solution would be, again, but may not be legal.
Yeah.
Is just basically say, everybody who's going to work here, anybody who's going to set up shop here, you got to make your own arrangements. So, if such and such
Not a
company,
great selling point though for
No,
a
no.
company trying to.
I know, but if a company,
attract
say,
companies.
let's say, a company wants to occupy the 4th floor of the building,
Yeah.
and then they say, okay, we're going to have 24 employees. So they make an arrangement with one local operator of a parking lot for 24 spaces or whatever there was required number of spaces. So then they can occupy that.
But
So,
how many parking lots are there around there?
well, the city
See,
did a
that's-
study. Actually, there is actually enough if you add them all up. But the thing
Yeah,
is,
but
not
some people
everybody.
say they're counting some that really aren't even. In
I know,
effect.
but once it became politicized, I started.
I don't know.
I ceased believing everything that people were presenting stuff as fact.
I mean, basically,
is
people
pure
don't
opinion.
want this development. They don't
No,
want
no,
it to
no,
go.
no,
to-
no, no,
No, the people that are
Some
against-
people don't want the development to happen. Some people do want.
No,
the
no, no.
development
I'm
to
saying the people that are against it, they talk about the parking issue, but it really is that they don't want these office things. They don't want this
Right,
in their
I mean,
neighborhood. They don't want all the people
the
that come
level
to
of-
work there that are going to
the
raise
level of-
rents and everything.
The level
Yeah.
of mendacity
Yeah.
has reached an
Yeah.
all-time high in this city.
Yeah.
There are people with a straight face say, well, this isn't about the courthouse development. This is just about the right, whether in fact you should be, allowing public property to be used for private
Yeah,
use.
no,
That's
that-
all about this.
No, it
Of
isn't.
course it's not,
It's about trying to right a wrong that was wrong a long time ago, and
Yeah,
let's just
but-
make the
but-
best of the
But,
situation.
but I
now,
have to
know?
say, what
Yeah.
is it, 100, what it was about 200-foot tall building, I think, something in that order? It's in that
big
range,
there.
right?
It's big.
But the thing is in the interim, when that was built, that
Yeah.
was the one tall building.
Right.
Now, 50 years later, it ain't the one tall building. I'm
It's
looking
pretty
right
ugly,
across
too.
the street
Oh,
right
I
now
know.
at one. It's the same
But those
height.
same people would say, see,
Right.
and look
But
at Kendall. It's just big. But it is
Kendall's
part
very
of
big
Kendall
now,
Square.
right.
I
So-
mean, that is part of Kendall
So
Square.
yes, it's big relative to the short ones that are
and
very
I
nearby.
feel bad for
but
people that live around there and have seen this change. But you know what? That's what happens in a city.
That's
you know?
what happens in the city. I mean, but I don't want to use that as an excuse
No,
for
you don't,
running
because you don't
roughshod.
want
I mean,
things
honestly,
to go next to your house.
honestly, these overlay characters, they're basically saying, like, well, you live in a city, so you should accept anything I impose on you. go, well, I don't know that that's quite the, like,
I
that
wonder
type
if there's
of
some
negotiation
people that are
I want.
against this, but are against also for the whole, I mean, is there any
There's
common
no-
ground there?
You know, that's right.
It's-
It's a
it's
totally chaotic
I know,
political
you
lines.
can't determine
But
who,
it-
yeah.
Yeah, but things are really being I mean, there are
True.
people who I know who I
Yeah.
agree with on the overlay business, but who
Yeah.
are totally against the courthouse development.
Yeah.
Personally, I just want them to get moving on the damn courthouse
Yeah,
development,
it's ugly.
but I'm dead
It's-
set
yeah.
against the overlay business.
Yeah.
You know, so the thing is, it's not a convenient political lines, but
No.
but they are kind of being redrawn a little bit here. The thing I really don't like is how certain individuals, like State Representative Connolly, is basically using this as an organizing tool for his own
Our
political
revolution.
future.
Yeah.
And he's got his little Our Revolution group,
They were out there
which
in
is
full force.
basically about
Yeah.
5 Marxists and their
I don't
friends.
know, I heard, now that I know some names, they definitely spoke, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody wants to live under a little circus tent now, you know. So it's like, I'm going to be part of the Better Cambridge little circus tent, or I'm going to be part of the Our Revolution circus tent.
Yeah.
You know, we might as well just throw all the individuals in the Charles River because
Have you heard
everybody's
any,
part of the
they
group
had
now.
they had a forum the other night, I didn't go.
The ABC people?
No,
the
that-
Our
that's
Revolution
next-
did,
that-
yeah. And
ABC
then
is-
it's like
is Wednesday
Thursday
night.
or Wednesday or Thursday.
Wednesday night at the library, I'm gonna go to that, but I didn't go to the 5th, which
Tell me
was
how
also-
it turns
I
out,
know,
because
you don't have to
honestly,
go.
my tolerance for a lot
Well,
of these
18 candidates
candidates
are gonna be there, so I wanna hear that, that's a lot of
Well,
candidates.
that could be interesting,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, I've chatted
It's
up
probably
a
gonna be
lot of
total guess.
candidates
Yeah.
personally now, you know, at various
Well, they're
backyard
all,
things or
they
whatever.
are referred to on the candidates pages, somewhere I read.
Yeah, by the way, I have to
they're
say
referred to,
something,
yeah.
you know, in our little last minute
Yes,
of the segment here.
segment.
The thing is so I operate these candidate pages, but the thing, and I have for a long time now, right? It's become such a sort of a tradition now. You know how many requests for information I've sent to candidates?
Yeah.
0.
I know, they send it to
and
you.
they just
I know,
they
it's
just
great.
come, you know, and they
And you're
you-
referred to,
I've
I
got
forget
a-
what it was, whether it was a Jan, somebody's blood said, go to,
You know, well, listen.
oh,
you
it was
know,
Emily Dexter.
Right.
and
The,
her
the
thing, yeah.
truth is that the candidate pages are it's a dating service, is what it
Yeah.
is.
You
It
don't
says,
change anything.
You're the
you just-
voter. You're looking for
right.
a hot date. Here's a candidate. Oh
and
boy.
you don't edit anything,
I
you
don't-
just take
nothing,
it in and
nothing,
you put it out there.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I may say something on my rwinners.com site, but
Right,
the thing
but
is,
this is
not
straight
there.
from the
Straight
candidate.
shot,
Yeah.
absolutely. So anyway, we've got pictures of everybody, and I've learned a lot about a lot of them. So
You can show them in
Anyway.
the next segment.
we'll be back soon on Cambridge Inside Out.